You keep telling yourself you can't find your purpose because the world is too loud, because the phone won't stop, because the feed keeps moving, because everything is built to steal your focus. You act like you're trapped in a storm you didn't ask for. But I'm gonna say something you don't want to hear. You're not a hostage, you're a volunteer. And as long as you play victim to noise, you'll never meet the man you're supposed to become. You know why that belief feels so true? Because the snare is real. There are entire companies with rooms full of very smart people designing the exact sound and color that make your thumb move. Every platform is hunting your eyes. Every notification is a lure. Your nervous system gets a pat on the head every time you check, every time you swipe, every time you feel that little hit of something's happening. It's cheap certainty, frictionless dopamine. You get to feel busy without building anything. You get to feel connected without risking honesty. You get to feel informed without forming an opinion worth standing behind. The machine rewards your half attention and punishes your silence. It is not a fair fight. It is absolutely engineered. But here's the part that matters. It still requires your consent. Under all that design, there's a quieter move you don't talk about. You choose the distraction, you reach for it, you open it, you let it run your day, not because you're weak, but because you're avoiding something harder. Distraction is affect regulation. It's medicine. You prescribe yourself to not feel like a beginner, to not feel the boredom after 3 minutes of quiet, to not feel the bruise on your ego when you realize you're not as good as you thought, to not feel the terror that if you try for real, you might expose your limits, because if you never try, you never fail. If you never sit with the tough truth, your identity stays shiny, so you handicap yourself on purpose, then you point at the handicap when it's time to explain why you didn't bring the heat. That's not an algorithm's fault. That's self-protection dressed up as helplessness. You're not drowning in noise. You're avoiding the empty hour where your effort would put your identity on trial. You collaborate with the chaos. You don't wrestle your attention away. You surrender it because it gives you an alibi. Then at night, you act confused about why your life feels hollow. You know exactly why. The empty room exposes you. In that quiet, the mirror is clean, no entertainment, no praise, no quick bump of good job, king, just you and the actual state of your skill. The space where purpose would grow is the same space where your excuses die. Of course you avoid it. Your comfort is expensive. You pay for it with the life you could have had, and so you drift. It happens slow. First, it's just a missed morning, then it's a week, then it's I'll start next month. Skills stall, let you keep reading about greatness while your hands forget how to make, and your conviction dissolves. You used to talk with your chest. Now, you mumble opinions and scroll for stronger men to borrow words from. Your relationships thin out into short reactions and double taps. You stop looking people in the eye because the screen trained you to look down. Your days feel urgent, but inconsequential. There's always something screaming for you, but when you lay down at night, there's nothing to point to except a longer list and a shorter fuse. You tell yourself you're overwhelmed, but you're not overloaded. You're underpurposed. Left alone, the avoidance hardens. It becomes who you are. You become the busy man with a screen face, always plugged in, always available, never present. Your phone becomes a badge. Look how important I am. People need me. But importance without impact is vanity. And in the quiet parts of the day, dread shows up. Envy stalks you when you see someone making moves you avoid. Numbness creeps in when your gut knows you're wasting yourself. And what do you do with dread, envy, numbness? You sedate them with more input to survive the mirror, more podcasts, more posts, more opinions. You drown the symptoms so you don't have to diagnose the disease. You aren't living. You're maintaining a performance. You're playing the entertained boy because it's easier than becoming a man who can sit in silence and build. Then something breaks the pattern. An early morning where you wake before the world, a dead battery you didn't plan on, an empty room you can't escape, and in that forced quiet you hear the hum you've been outrunning, the contradiction. You've been loudly searching for purpose, telling everyone how hungry you are while designing a life where discovery is impossible. You set up constant interruption, then blame fate for your lack of direction. In that moment, you feel a flash of anger. Maybe at me for saying it, maybe at yourself for knowing it's true. Good, use it. Anger can wake you up if you aim it at the part of you that's been hiding. Here's the shift. Purpose is not a treasure buried by the world that you stumble on if you look hard enough. Purpose is a direction you forge by paying sustained attention to what matters and letting it shape you. It's not ancient wisdom in a cave. It's not a perfect plan falling out of the sky. It's built in the boring hours, and boredom isn't a problem to fix. It's the threshold where direction takes shape. Boredom is your mind clearing the leftover noise so deeper patterns can surface. If you medicate boredom every time it shows its face, you never cross the threshold. You never let a thread tug at you. You never discover the craft that claims you. Fear becomes intelligent when it learns to speak your language. It's a will debur essay and dao you do Michael and that you need more research. And by it will say dao wait, you need better gear. It will say, not today, you're tired. It will sound like wisdom. It's not. It's a well-dressed exit. So how do you break it? Not with a grand speech to yourself or a 12-point plan. You treat attention as a promise, not a mood. You cut one stream of noise, not all of them. One, you protect one daily block of unbroken silence, not a whole day. 1 hour that becomes sacred. And inside that hour, you make one specific, ugly attempt that can fail in public and teach you in private. That's where the oxygen is. Don't overthink it. Pick a craft, something that lives in your body. Writing, sales, code, wood, camera, training, music, an idea you're ashamed you want, put it in the ring. Do it like a man who knows the first round won't be pretty. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by surviving reality. Notice what happens when you decide. Resistance wakes up. Watch how fast your brain gets creative. It will offer 100 noble detours. I'll clean the desk first. I'll set up a perfect system. I'll wait until I feel ready. That's fear with the suit on. Smile at it. Sit down anyway. Separate your phone from your body. Airplane mode isn't radical. It's normal for men who lead themselves. Put a timer on the table if you have to. Close the door. Breathe once. Then do the first tiny piece, not the whole mountain, the next brick. Unbroken silence is not empty. It's a forge. You're not missing out. You're burning off weakness. When the hour ends, don't grade yourself like a coward. Evaluate like a builder. What did you ship? What did you learn? What cut deeper than you expected? Where did you hide? Write it down, not to make a diary of excuses, but to build a map. Then go back the next day and do it again. This is not punishment. This is power. Every day you keep that promise, you gather proof that you can be trusted. You become a man whose word to himself means something. Comfort is expensive, but discipline buys freedom wholesale. The first few weeks are awkward. You'll be jumpy. Your hands will visit your pocket like a dog looking for treats. You'll want to break your own rule and peek. Don't. That itch is proof you're taking back your nervous system. Let the itch burn. It won't kill you. It will kill you. It will clean you. You'll feel boredom, like static on your skin. Stay with it. Like that static is the old habit dying. Inside that quiet, you'll hear a pull, like a curiosity you muted, a challenge you once loved, and it might be faint at first. That's okay. Keep turning toward it. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers that don't shout. As you repeat, you will watch a few lies evaporate. The lie that you need more motivation. You don't. Motivation is weather. You need a daily promise. The lie that you need a perfect plan. You don't. You need to outlast the first wave of doubt and finish something ugly. The lie that success is a hack. It isn't. It's a stack. Attempts on top of attempts until strength becomes visible. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Read that again with your chest. Your attention is not a toy. It is a weapon. It cuts where you point it. Point it at nonsense and you carve holes in yourself. Point it at a craft and you carve a path. Stop acting like you can sprinkle your focus across 100 impulses and get depth. You can't. Men who build live on a different diet. They eat repetition. They drink silence. They keep their own time. Not because they're naturally disciplined, but because they understand the cost of chaos. It's not just productivity you're losing. It's respect from others, sure, but more dangerously from yourself. Notice how your relationships change when you start protecting your quiet. You stop rewarding people for interrupting you. You stop being available to every ping. You start looking your woman in the eyes without the quick dart to check something meaningless. Your voice gets weight. Not because you're louder, but because your words come from contact with reality, not reheated opinions. Men feel it when you've been working. They hear the difference between theory and proof. The room you use to avoid becomes the room you crave, because that's where you turn into someone you actually like. You want masculinity? Start with sovereignty, not over other people, over yourself, over your calendar, over your tools, over the basic animal urge to escape. It's not glamorous. It's a man alone in a chair choosing not to run, choosing to put his identity on trial and let effort make the ruling. That's where purpose shows its face, not at a conference, not in a quote, in the third week of doing the thing when nobody's clapping and you show up anyway. That's the moment most guys sell out. That's where you stay. You'll have bad days, you'll miss, you'll fall back into the feed, you'll waste a morning and hate yourself at noon. Fine, don't turn a slip into a story, don't call it a season. Reset within the hour. The game is consistency, not perfection. Men love to burn it all down because they can't stand an imperfect streak. Stop that. Keep the promise small and unbreakable. One stream cut, 1 hour protected, one attempt made. After that, you're free to be average again for the day if you want. But what you will find is you won't want to. The work will pull you back because doing what you said you would do feels better than anything that vibrates in your pocket. Fear will keep trying. It will get clever. It will whisper that your work isn't good enough to release, that you need one more pass, that nobody cares. Respond with action, not debate. Publish something, ask for a sale, send the pitch, book the call, get under the bar, move the weight. Reality is where confidence is minted. Every time you expose your work to the world, you're telling your nervous system, we don't run. And it learns, it calms, it gets loyal. You become the man it trusts to lead. As months build, watch how your identity shifts. You stop performing the entertained boy. You become the man whose silence obligates him. Your calendar is not chaos. Your craft organizes your days. People start to know what you're about because you keep showing it. Opportunities find you because signals rise out of consistent output. You aren't begging for a seat. You're building your own table. Purpose stops feeling mystical. It feels like muscle memory. You didn't find it out there. You formed it in here by cutting noise, keeping promises, and giving your attention to the same direction long enough for it to carve a trail. And yes, the world is still loud. It doesn't change. You did. You stopped making distraction your religion. You started treating your attention like the blood in your body. Valuable, non-negotiable, not to be spilled for free. You grew a spine around your time. You offended a few people who wanted your interruption to be their right. Let them be offended. You didn't come here to be everyone's entertainment. You came here to carry weight. So here's the line. Stop pretending you're searching while engineering your life so you never have to find. Decide. Cut one stream. Pick it now. Uninstall it. Log out. Throw it in the ocean if you have to. Protect one block tomorrow. Set the hour early before you can lie to yourself. Put your phone in another room, lock the door, and in that hour, make one ugly, specific attempt in the direction that keeps pulling at you when the noise dies. Write the page, make the call, build the offer, shoot the video, design the prototype, train like you're already the man you're not yet. Don't talk about it. Do it. When it's done, expose it to the world in some way that can sting. You need the sting. It teaches like nothing else. Then, get up the next day and do it again. Stack your days until your effort turns into evidence. Don't wait for permission. Don't announce a transformation. Prove a transformation. Your attention is your responsibility. Your silence is your forge. Your work is your declaration. If you choose the noise, own it and stop complaining. But if you're done playing small, if you're done performing helplessness, then cut the leash. The man you want to be is not hiding behind better apps or smarter tricks. He's built in the hour you keep avoiding. Comfort is expensive. It will bill you the rest of your life. Pay it now in sweat or pay it forever in regret. Fear becomes intelligent when it learns to speak your language. Don't negotiate. People talk about confidence like it's magic. It isn't. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by surviving reality. The life you want is hidden behind the actions you avoid. Cross that line. This is your moment to take back your agency, not with a shout, but with a habit. Close the tabs, kill the noise, sit in the empty room and let the silence tell you the truth. Then aim your attention like a blade and start carving. Keep carving until there's a path where there used to be fog. Keep carving until your days stop bleeding into each other. Keep carving until your work speaks for you and your purpose is simply the trail your attention keeps cutting through the chaos. No more pretending, no more half-man posture. Decide, enter the quiet, do the ugly work, earn your edge, and don't stop.